We are live.
Menominee, did you have a lot of response from people today?
Mm,
Oh, you already. Oh, it's 6 o'clock.
yes. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started here in a couple of minutes. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started on this evening. Thank you, and I welcome everyone to the I-680 Soundwalls community meeting. My name is Menominee McCarter, and I am the lead public communications contact on this project, and I will be your host for this evening. Before we get started, what I'm doing now is I'm going to pull up a poll for you all to take. And it is not mandatory that you take this poll, but we ask for the information. We are required to request this information from you, from our attendees, so that we can track our ability to reach a diverse group of participants for our meetings. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pull that up now. And if I can get that up, okay, I'll go ahead and put that up now, and you should see that. And I'll leave that there so that you all have that as we go through our agenda. Again, it's not required that you fill it out, but it is information that we need to make sure that we can do our jobs better and to make sure that we can reach as many people in the public as we can. And then this is a friendly reminder that our meeting is being recorded. We will post the meeting into our website in a few days. And then if you go to our website now, we also have a copy of these slides here that you can reference. You can go tonight or you can reference them in the following days. And that website is vta.org/projects/I/680/Soundwalls. And that link, we will go ahead and put that link in our chat section as well, so that you will be able to access that. Okay, and then for tonight, our agenda will cover the following. Okay, and we are doing our meeting overview. And then what we'll do is we'll finish going over the meeting. We'll let you know how you can participate in the meeting. And then we'll go through the project overview. And then we'll get into the details of the project. And then we will do what we came here to do tonight, which is get input from you on what you think about the project and how you feel the sound wall should look. And to participate, we have a slide here. So the first things first, we just like you all to please treat all participants with kindness and with respect. If you have questions and comments, we do have a Q&A section, and we ask that you put any of your questions and comments in there. And what we will do, the panelists will go through, we'll go have a Q&A section at the end, and the panelists will go through those, and we will answer your questions as they come up. We do ask that, well, we will unmute you if you would like to speak. And then we do ask that you would mute your audio when you're not speaking. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand and I'll call on you and we'll let you speak, and then just mute yourself again after you're done speaking, and then our panelists will answer your questions. VTA, we do not tolerate demeaning, discriminatory, or harassing behavior and speech. We will remove participants if you don't adhere to that code. So please, we don't want to do that. So just adhere to that code for this evening. Okay. And then this is how you can participate. So you have unmute and mute buttons. We will give you permission, and then you just click, you'll see a pop-up and it'll say, like you see here, unmute yourself. Just unmute yourself and then you can begin talking. And then once you finish, you'll be able to press the mute button again, or I can press it on my end as well. And then again, once you are finished asking your questions, our panelists will respond. And if you are on the phone, you will be able to press *9 so that you can raise your hand so that I can see you. So don't worry, if you're calling in, you're still fine. Just press *9 and we'll go ahead and call on you. And then for any questions or to get updates or to subscribe to our page, because what we will be doing is, especially as we get into the construction portion of the project, we will be sending out emails and updates. And if you subscribe to the Soundwalls project, you will be able to receive those emails. You can visit our webpage. Again, it's vta.org/project/I-680 Soundwalls. And again, that'll be in the chat section for you. Okay, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to turn it over to Jason Nesdall, and he is the project manager for the 680 Soundwalls project, and he will take it away and he will present on tonight, and he will also introduce our panelists. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Menominee, and thanks everyone for being here. So we have a number of different organizations, agencies, and people working on this project. So I just want to kind of introduce you to them. As far as the project partners go, we have VTA, Caltrans, City of San Jose, and BKF Engineers all working on this project. From the VTA, we have Gene Gonzalo, who is the Highway Program Manager, who oversees all of the highway projects coming through VTA. Menominee introduced me. I'm the project manager. The project manager for Caltrans is John Peterson. And then the public information officer. Sorry about that. So hopefully you hear John Peterson from Caltrans, project manager, Victor Gautier, public information officer from Caltrans, and then Neil Ong, who is from the City of San Jose. And then we have Luis Garcia, who's the lead design engineer from BKF Engineers, who you will also hear from later on tonight. So let me give you a little bit of background and overview of our project. So as you can see on the map, we're situated in East San Jose near the south end of I-680. The map shows sound walls are located on both sides of 680 between the McKee Road and Capitol Expressway interchanges. At these three locations, there are sound walls that extend over 3,500 feet long. So let me transition to a little bit of background on where we've been and where we've been doing. The main purpose of our sound walls project is for noise abatement, right? The construction of these walls reduces the impact to the community from the noise created by vehicles traveling on I-680, and that's really why we're doing what we're doing. The environmental phase established the location and the heights of the walls, cleared the project of all environmental requirements, and obtained the necessary approvals for the project. This phase was completed in 2019, and then shortly after that, we started our current phase, which is the design and right-of-way phase. This phase is where we develop the concepts of the environmental phase in detail, in enough detail needed to actually be able to build the project. So we're developing the engineering plans, the specifications, and all the other necessary documents for a complete contract package. We're on track to complete the design and right-of-way phase at the end of this year, and we'll be ready to proceed on to the next phase and start construction at the beginning of 2022. We're projecting the time frame for the construction to be anywhere from 12 to 18 months. We're still working on that. But so we think we should be able to complete the project sometime in 2023. So as with most projects, funding is a key issue, and this project is primarily being funded through the State Transportation Improvement Program, or STIP. So I'd like to turn it over to Luis Garcia to provide a little more of the details of the design that we've been working on.
Thank you, Jason, and good evening. I'm going to walk through each of the walls in more detail and then present some design information relating to these walls. So on this first wall, it is on the east side of 680. 680 you see in the middle on the top of the sheet. We're on the east side of the freeway, and the wall is between Capitol Expressway on one end and Alum Rock Avenue on the other. The proposed sound wall is proposed to go along the rear of the property at Muirfield Drive behind those homes that you see there. And the wall is represented by that yellow line. So that's the sound wall location. On this next image, this is what that area looks like from the freeway. And then we have a rendering of what it would look like after the wall is constructed. And just so you know, those patterns that are on patterns and colors you see on this wall are just sample for this rendering. They'll be discussed in further detail later on. So on this next slide, we hop over to the other side of the freeway to and also between Capitol Expressway and Alum Rock Avenue. The wall runs along Foss Avenue up to the first residence, and then the wall veers over to the rear of the properties that face Foss Avenue. And similarly, we have a photo of the before condition at Foss, and then we have a rendering of what it may look like in this view. Then you move further along the wall to the north, closer to Alum Rock. That's what it looks like now, and that's what the rendering shows what it'll look like once it's constructed. Okay, now we're going to hop over to further north along to the east side of the freeway between Alum Rock Avenue and McKee Road. The wall starts at Gebhardt Avenue at the self-storage property, follows along Gebhardt Avenue to the end of the cul-de-sac, and then it goes along the rear of those properties that face the Lodi Way, and then it goes over to Madden Avenue. At Madden Avenue, the wall stops and restarts at the pedestrian overcross, the pedestrian bridge, leaving a short gap. And then it continues along the Children of the Rainbow Park and the PG&E parcel to just past Mueller Drive. And again, we have a existing photo of what it looks like now and a rendering of what it could look like once constructed. Going into some of the, and here's just a quick cross section of a typical detail. This is specifically at Muirfield Drive. The wall there is 12 feet. The other walls are 16 feet. And the Children of the Rainbow Park, they're 14 feet. So they vary a little bit as you go along the alignment of the walls. And you see the freeway there on the left-hand side, the sound wall in the middle with the yellow, and it's at the rear of the properties. And then you can see the residence up there also. So I want to go into a little bit of the design. The design of the wall is going to be concrete block wall. You see a sample there of some of the blocks. And then the concrete blocks will be stacked up, as you can see the construction being done there on the right. And basically just stack the blocks as high as you need to, being grouted in place. Access will be necessary to the front and the back of the wall to do the work. So temporary construction easements on the adjacent properties will need to be obtained to perform this work. To do the work also, there'll be necessary removal of existing shrubs and trees, which will be required at some locations to do the work. Replacement of these trees will be necessary per the environmental document. Right now, our count is we have about 84 tree removals. And so based on the document environmental ratio, we need to replace it with 155 replacement trees. And the design, placement, and type of trees that we're using are intended to discourage unsheltered encampments. And the vines that we'll be growing vines at the face of the wall to discourage graffiti. And just as any other construction project, we are going to have temporary traffic signage, temporary fencing, and temporary concrete barriers, which will be utilized during construction to maintain safety to the private properties, the city streets, and the freeway. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jason.
Thanks, Luis. So another component that we have here tonight is that, during the environmental phase, we determined that we should receive input from the community on the sound wall aesthetics. The aesthetics are components such as color and the texture of the walls, kind of like you've seen on some previous slides. But one of the key factors in our design is to maintain the aesthetic consistency of the I-680 corridor. We don't want to design and build something that would, look out of place. So to achieve that goal, we looked at nearby sound walls in the corridor and it came up with 3 options. So we're going to actually, in a minute, we're going to utilize the survey function again, and we're going to get your input on this. So, there's no wrong answer. What this information, the survey information, we're going to take back to the project team. We're going to use that to really make the determination on which is the best design option to go with. So vote away when the survey pops up in a few slides. So the first option that we have is located on I-680 north of Calaveras, and we call this one Diamond for obvious reasons. This one includes both textured and smooth blocks and includes a couple of different colors to provide a pattern. You'll also notice on the photo that vines are growing on this wall. No matter which option is carried forward, our plan is to have vines planted along the walls where appropriate. So all three options will have this. This photo just shows an actual vines growing on there up near north of Calaveras. So the second one is located on I-680 near King Road, and we call this one Solid State. It's a simple design that includes both textured and smooth blocks with a single kind of monochromatic color scheme. Very simple, straightforward. The third choice is located on I-680 south of Mission Road, and we call this one Hills because of the effect of the rolling textured block. This option provides a variety of shaded colors and a little more relief in the pattern and the positioning of the blocks. May be difficult to see, but some of these blocks are slightly, protruding or sticking out to give that effect. So here you have the three options. Your survey will pop up momentarily, and we appreciate your input and your time to vote on which one of your preferred options. So with that, our formal presentation is turned over, and is completed, sorry, and I'll turn it back over to Menominee to go over a few reminders. And actually, we'll just give you a few seconds to vote if you want to.
Yeah, so the poll is up. And again, you have I'll give you a little bit to go ahead and vote there. I am looking in our question and answer section. We are at our question and answer portion of the evening. And I don't have any questions. So I want to give you time if you're taking the poll or if you have questions to go ahead and put your question in. And I do have a raised hand from one of our attendees. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and allow you to speak and ask your question. Okay, go ahead and unmute. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Menominee. Thank you
Hi.
very much. This is Jewel Buchanan, Flotts Avenue resident. And my question had to do, I was looking at my preference for design. It is the Hills version. And my question had to do, and have been instances where the bricks that are protruding out are actually destroyed or vandalized. That's just a question. And then the second, my question, perhaps one of the engineers could answer it. Once the sound wall goes up, on the freeway side, are they planning to leave shrubbery or perhaps do something like river rocks or some and encampments? Thanks. That was those are my questions. Thank you.
I'm not sure, it kind of broke up on my end, but I'm not sure if the panelists, if you all heard the questions completely.
So let me, I think I heard some of it for sure, but the first question was about the bricks sticking out. And I think the question was, do those get damaged or are those impacted in some way? But actually, Jewel, if you still are there, I would love to be able to get the detail of your question there more specifically.
Sure. I was curious as to whether or not the protruding bricks had been vandalized in any way by I don't know, freeway transients or damaged so that it impacted the design. That design is my preference. So that was the first question. And then the second question was along the 680 corridor that runs along Foss Avenue on the freeway side, if perhaps the design might include hard landscaping, such as river rocks or boulders to prevent ongoing encampments.
Okay, and then that third one, what, could
It
you
was
repeat
just
that
two.
one? Oh, I'm sorry.
It may
Okay.
have sounded like three, but there was
No. Thank you. So Jewel, let me handle the first one. As far as the bricks sticking out, typically we don't have a lot of vandalism that I'm aware of. We can ask Caltrans, they're the maintenance group on some history, and we can get back to you if you like on that specifically. But remember also that we're going to be planting vines along here, so we're hoping that the vines grow up and that the vandalism or the damage to any of these bricks is really should be minimal. But I don't think it's a big problem with those bricks sticking out. But that's a good consideration that we'll take into account. The second one, as far as hardscape, so our Soundwall project has to remove the trees like Luis was talking about, and we're going to replace those. And then we'll have the vines, but we don't really have any other, hardscape or landscaping features to the project itself. It is strictly a sound wall to help noise abatement. And what we are trying to do for the the unsheltered issue to minimize that is to really provide a lot of visibility and replant trees strategically where it would kind of discourage that to the extent possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, I don't. Okay. I don't see any more questions, and I don't have any more raised hands. And I've just ended the poll. Okay. 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 Yeah, I don't have any more questions, Jason, for any of our panelists out here.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
If there's anyone out there, any of our attendees, if you have any questions, you can always send us an email. If you think of something later, our email is here on the slide. You can shoot us an email at community.outreach@bta.org, and you can do that anytime throughout the project. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have comments, and we will respond to you.
Menominee,
Yes.
this is Ann. I am one of the panelists, but I do have a couple of questions that I think would be good to answer.
Okay.
Number one, are the designs on the sound walls, depending whatever choice, are they on both sides of the sound walls, the freeway side and the residential side?
Yes, and they will be consistent on the state side and the other side.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question is, what is the schedule for this project?
So we are planning to be done with the design and right-of-way phase by the end of this year. And then we will start construction at the beginning of the following year of 2022. And we hope to be done with construction sometime in 2023.
Okay, thanks, Jason. I wanted to show that again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have another raised hand. Let me go ahead and. Okay.
Jewel, you are
Cannon, you can go ahead and
un-
speak. Oh.
you are unmuted. Go ahead and speak.
Oh, am I unmuted? Oh, great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Go ahead, dear.
Thank you. And thank you for that question, Ann. That was really a good question regarding the design. In terms of the schedule, you did talk about the schedule, and you said that the design and the design phase will be completed by the end of this year. I'm curious, what does that entail, the design phase? Are there construction vehicles coming onto Foss Avenue, large trucks, or other types of equipment coming onto Foss Avenue? And I ask that question because right now on Foss Avenue, we're a very small street.
Yes, so we will not be having any large vehicles or any kind of contractor activity out on the project through the end of this year. We've collected all the data that we need, and now we're going kind of into the drafting table, if you will, to really come up with the plans and the cost estimates and the specs and specifications and all the things that we really need to be able to put a package together to put it out to the contracting world and give us a bid on that. So we won't have any construction this year at all.
Okay, so, okay. Yeah, I think it's a concern of most residents on Foss Avenue because we have two major construction happening, one a major at the corner and then one a semi-major also at the corner on the right side of the street as you exit the street. So more vehicles, large, small, or medium, coming onto Foss Avenue for a consistent period of time, we'd really like to be notified.
And we'll
The
definitely,
residents.
yeah, we'll definitely coordinate with the residents through Menominee specifically, but then also with Caltrans, the city. We'll all coordinate together and give you as much lead time and notice as we possibly can before anybody's actually, driving down your street with, construction work happening.
Great, great. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. For Ms. Buchanan, Menominee.
Yes.
So as far as noticing the residents, we do mail again postcards with the information about construction and then information about the project within a quarter mile of the Soundwalls. We'll send out information via Nextdoor, so that those that are signed up on Nextdoor will be able to get that information as well. And then if you would like to sign up for updates for the project, again, on our website at bta.org, you can do that as well. And what we do, and they just pop that back up on the screen, thank you. And what we will do is we send out emails to those who are subscribed, so that anytime we have construction or anything going on, that information will get to those who are subscribed. So you can feel free to do that. And then you can always give us a call. You can always send us an email if you have any questions at community.outreach@bta.org as well.
Great. What I would like to do
Mhm.
is include my email in the chat. I'm not sure how many residents from Foss Avenue are on this meeting. There are two that I'm aware of who live at the corner. the lack of participation is not so much a lack of interest or concern, but Foss Avenue, it's a small community street. It's predominantly Hispanic speaking, and also predominantly most of our residents work outside of the home. So getting information, sometimes the information it's just not understood. We do have a small group of, I guess, residential overseers, so to speak, who will happily take information door to door Foss Avenue, because sometimes, as unfortunately, the information just doesn't always trickle down, particularly when you have English as a second language. So I'd like to place my email in the chat and hopefully stay in touch and get any information, and also be on your website. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Okay, and I'll add you to our contact list, because we keep a list of contacts. So once you provide that information, you can either leave it in the chat or you can send it via email, and I'll go ahead and add you to our contact.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then we do provide, when we send out our mailers, we do have the different languages there as well. So hopefully that'll go a long way in being able to attract those who do have English as a second language.
Oh, and you, I mean, you guys do a great job with that. I'm not sure if it's a situation where it's not read or not understood. I'm just not sure, but
right.
We're finding the information doesn't always trickle down.
Okay.
And there are 3 to 4 residents here on Foss Avenue where we actively go out and try to keep Foss Avenue residents informed.
Okay.
So happy to be of assistance. And 2 of them are, I know that 2 of them are in attendance. I don't know if they're able to log on. I've been texting them back and forth, and they asked about a screen number.
I'm not sure. They should have needed any type of a registration code or anything to get on. Yeah. So. Okay. But yeah, we'll keep in touch. And then if you can help me reach them, that would be wonderful.
No problem. No problem. And your name is pronounced Menominee?
Menominee, yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. And okay, I don't have any more questions. Are there any more questions that you all have? Anything that we haven't covered? If not, I'm going to give it back to Jason to close out our meeting on tonight.
Well, thanks, Menominee, and thanks, Jewel, and everybody else for the questions and the time. We appreciate the input. We're going to go back and work hard on this project and try to deliver it to you as soon as we can and follow our schedule. But just wanted to say thanks. I'm not sure if Jewel's hand is still up or if she has another question, but
No, I just need to put her hand kind of.
okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, yeah. So just thanks, everybody. Appreciate the time and look forward to continuing to partner with everyone here in delivering this project.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good job, Menominee.
All right, thank you. You too. I'm trying to make sure I got everything before I close this out.
Yeah, how do you like all of the chat, even the direct messaging and stuff, does that get saved too, or?
I'm making sure I'm going in here now. I put it on there to save it, but I just want to make sure it does. That everything, we get everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll leave you to
Hopefully
it.
it
Have a
does.
good night.
I set it up to do that, so hopefully we do. We
All right.
do. Hopefully we
You'll be good.
do.
All right.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night.